Welcome back to Beast Wars Wednesday. I'm your host, Predacon Paul. This is your other host,
Decepticon Doug,
who's wearing a shirt.
I am wearing a shirt. He's got me there.
So today's episode is called Coming of the Fuzors Part 1 and 2. Coming of the Fuzors picks up right where Aftermath left off, in very much the same way Aftermath picked up right where Other Voices left off.
One big story arc, basically.
One big story arc, yeah.
The stasis pods are kind of glitching out and going like... They're right in Predacon territory. Inferno and Megatron go off to go and retrieve those stasis pods. Waspinator is left behind to ponder life, the universe, and everything. Waspinator looks up at the moon.
There's only one moon.
Waspinator has an epiphany. Meanwhile, just above the Predacon base, there's Dinobot, who's looking down, also pondering life, the universe, and everything. There's a little gun turret that comes out to shoot Dinobot, but he hides in some mud. And then he takes out the autocannon. It's actually a very much kind of like that, have you ever seen that cat video? Where the camera pokes his head over, the cat's closer but not moving, then pulls out, and then pulls back. Cat's even closer but not moving. Basically the same thing, but with Dinobot. He makes his way into the Predacon base because apparently the defenses are not in great shape. He comes into this room, the same room that Waspinator's in, and they're like, there's only one moon now, and do you know what that means?
A huge revelation.
This big of a revelation.
It blows everyone's hair back. Whoosh. My own included. Whoosh. They're on
Earth. Prehistoric Earth. The transwarp drive actually took them to the proper destination, just not the right time.
They're on Earth!
Megatron wasn't the idiot that Dinobot said he was. That's probably why the planet has all the same life forms as Earth.
Right, like spiders and shit.
Spiders, rats, wasps, gorillas.
Rhinos.
You name it.
Scorpionox.
Yes, little Scorpionox. Waspinator pitches this little idea to Dinobot. He's like, hey, tell you what, these golden discs tell the future, and therefore they are ultimate power. So Waspinator's like, hey, you want to team up? Dinobot's like, yeah, man, I'd love to help you out.
You go first.
And he throws Waspinator into the force field defenses, and he gets all electrificated and smushed into a little box of Waspinator. Dinobot grabs the discs. Well, the opportunity presents itself. Just as Black Arachnia kicks Tarantulas in, she's like, what's going on here? Dinobot blows up the computer and all the evidence and zooms on out of there.
Tarantulas is all like, oh, the discs, oh, my body.
I want to be alive, says Tarantulas, because right now, like, his body is, for all intents and purposes, dead. The only reason he's still alive is because his consciousness is in Black Arachnia.
True, but like his spark is still alive. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to transfer it into the body.
I just guess I don't know exactly how it works. What is the brain and what is the soul? Can a spark just be like reinvigorated, like, or his body's in stasis lock and
It might be in stasis lock, but his consciousness is in, I don't know, who cares? Cut to what the Maximals are up to. They're standing around a stasis pod, one that fell from orbit. It's a good thing they found this stasis pod, because there's a Maximal in there.
Not this one. It's a blank. A protoform without a spark.
Bird Lady and Stripes have decided, you know what? We are going to gracefully exit this episode because there's too many Transformers in it. I mean, because there's other stasis pods that need to be found.
Mm-hmm.
Right in the moment where they probably need them the most, they just decide, you know what? We're going to leave.
Yeah, you know, I really don't approve of their timing. I understand the need to go find more stasis pods, but could we not just yet?
Rat Trap is left with Cheetor and Rhinox. They're in the base. Rhinox is like, there's something I gotta do. There's a transwarp tear or hole or something that leads to the web, and I need to make sure that we can find Bob.
Yeah, he gets a little hookup, and it's like he's plugging into a little virtual reality suite or something like that. He talks, and it sounds like a bunch of hippie talk to Rat Trap, because I'm pretty sure Rat Trap doesn't understand any of it.
He decides we need to find Chop-A-Face because right now we're pretty vulnerable. Flying Cheetah decides, you know what? Air Cheetor is on the case. And then cut to the stasis pods where who's emerging?
One is this aggressive scorpion snake hybrid. The other is a wolf and an eagle. And we are introduced to Silverbolt and Quickstrike. They start fighting because one of them right away, he's just this jerk and he just wants to fight. So Inferno shows up and he just starts like blasting the place. They start trying to fight. The little snake bites.
He's all like, here's a dramatic reenactment for you. Pain is my friend. Allow me to introduce you to him.
Thank you, Navi.
Megatron decides that this is the time since their security circuits or whatever, their identity circuits are scrambled, now is the time to change their activation codes so that they can be Predacons. As Doug so eloquently stated while we were watching the episode, I don't think Inferno got the memo.
Yeah, I don't think he got like the breakdown of what the plan was, because I think he just went in there and he was just ready to roast them both.
So he gets his flamethrower, which we all know is an effective weapon against Transformers. Right as he's about to roast them, Megatron backhands him into oblivion.
Hi everybody, I am so sorry for this miscommunication. I just want to let you know that I'm Megatron, I'm your leader, do as I say, welcome to the team.
Oh, kill that.
Cheetor's flying by as he's looking for Dinobot, and Megatron doesn't like that. He is allergic to cats. Silverbolt's like, hey, this kitty cat, he hasn't done anything to us. And Megatron shows his true colors.
Well, no, I would say that he was quite nice.
He was quite nice to pull out his little shoulder cannons and shoot him.
Because he could have used the big...
That's true.
His boomstick.
The boomstick. What a sweetheart, that Megatron. Don't question my orders. Bad, bad, bad.
Bad bird dog.
It's like he took the newspaper and just on the nose. He's like, no, kill the kitty. Because as we all know, cats and dogs can fly.
It's pigs that can't.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Megatron and Inferno, of course, also go into pursuit. Quick Strike jumps on Inferno's back because they're buds now. Now they're all on the same
Yeah,
side.
they're like best friends.
As Cheetor gets closer to the Maximal base, he calls them up. He's like, hello, everybody. I just want to let you know I'm accidentally bringing a whole squadron of Predacons home.
Dinobot shows up. What is the situation?
And Rattrap gives us the breakdown. Rhinox is asleep. Optimus is still dead. And, oh yeah, Cheetor's gone, and he was looking for you, but he's also bringing a bunch of Predacons home to fight. If the base is disturbed while Rhinox is off in Never Never Land, it has the potential of cutting off Rhinox's core consciousness from himself, so he would go offline. So Dinobot's like, I've got these guns, and let's go use them and kill us some Preds. They take off out of the base. Rattrap transforms into his wheelie dealy mode, and he goes buzzing off. He takes out his gun, pegs Megatron, who's just right behind Cheetor, and Megatron, it hits him in his like swirly whirly.
His turbine.
Her turbine, yeah, that's the word. You know, like an airplane swirly whirly.
This way.
And then
It's a real thing.
Hey, all the Predacons, can you meet me where I'm standing because I want to fight more? So Tarantulas is at the Pred base. Black Arachnia has her head plugged in. He's being revived, and there's this nice, cool, dramatic moment. Tarantulas puts his feet down, and he is revealed as this new transmetal Tarantulas, and he has this very Frankenstein's monster kind of moment, and he's like, I live! Actually, it's actually one of my favorite moments of the episode. It's very dramatic and.
His is one of the lamest transmetals ever.
I like his robot mode. It's this beast mode I don't like. The legs sticking out instead of the I'm just like don't like it. But I really like his robot mode design. I think like the claws and the
I've never been a fan.
We'll have to agree to disagree on that one. I also prefer.
No. You're just wrong.
And then Megatron gives them a call, and he's like, Waspinator and Tarantulas, I need some help for blowing up Maximals. Meanwhile, Cheetor, Rattrap, and Dinobot all regroup as well, and then there's this old Western showdown kind of music-y thing happening.
It's a standoff. It's like...
And then it goes, to be continued. And then they fight. And the next episode happens because they fight. The Maximals are very outnumbered, but they're putting up a good fight. They're going and pew 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 and pew pew pew. Waspinator and Tarantulas show up, even though they already showed up, but they show up again. And then Megatron's like, reinforcements have arrived. Time to take them out. And then Silverbolt's like, whoa, hold on, fellow Predacons. Being the peace-loving, friendly types that we are, maybe we should ask them if it's time to surrender. And Megatron doesn't like that. So he slaps him and he goes like, if you question my orders again, I'm gonna hurt you. I'm gonna hurt you real bad. So Silverbolt's like, man, these Maximals are fools.
Megatron's like,
Yeah.
I ain't heard that, bruh.
He knows for a fact that Rattrap, Cheetor, and even Dinobot's mama do not raise no fools.
In battle, when you've been outflanked, you have to either retreat or try and push through the enemy forces. The Maximals are not in a position to push through. The most sound strategic option they have is to pull back, but they're holding their position. Megatron's like, they're not fools, so there's something else must be up.
So he looks into the distance.
He sees it. What does he see? Doug, what does he see?
A crazy hippie spiritual beam pouring out of the top of the Maximal base. And he's like, I don't have any rational explanation as to what that is. But clearly it's important, and they're trying to keep us away from their base. He's like, Waspinator, Silverbolt, go to the base and make it go boom. And the Maximals deduce, okay, I think that means that they figured out our strategy.
Such as it was.
Cheetor goes into hot pursuit. Tarantulas is still in Black Arachne's head, and he's barking orders at her, going like, hey, find the information on the golden discs. Black Arachne's like, because she's really sick of Tarantulas being in her head. Because really, like, I would hate to have Tarantulas controlling my brain.
I would too.
As Dinobot and Rattrap are driving by, they shoot a boulder on top of Tarantulas, and he's out of commission for just a little while. And this gives Black Arachne the opportunity to get into Megatron's data tracks, download it, and put it in a secret file in her head and triple encode it so Tarantulas can't find it. Cheetor manages to smack into Waspinator.
Cheetor gets back to the base, disables Sentinel's shield, and activates the autogun. The autoguns take out Silverbolt in short order, and then as he's laying there attempting to recover, the Maximals show up, and he's like, alright, finish me.
Dinobot, true to character, pulls out a sword, and then the other two stop him and go like, no.
Put him in the CR chamber.
I guess the CR chamber would keep him unconscious. Did they have a break or something? They were in a bit of a rush. They just had to think of something. So they put Silverbolt in the CR chamber because they're back at the base. Rattrap gets a little notification on his phone. Bing!
He has a tweet. 2 new followers on his Instagram.
Mm-hmm. And Rhinox is back online. Hi, welcome back. Where were you? And Rhinox is like, look, if I give you any clear answers, it's going to spoil the surprise for the viewers. Predacons all show up. The Maximals hide behind a whole bunch of rocks right outside the base that I'm pretty sure weren't there before, but hey, you know what? It is what it is. The Predacons are just blasting everything they got at the Maximal shield. The shields fail, they collapse in this cool glass effect.
Which is one of my favorite shield effects.
All the Maximals are like, pew 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 pew. But then they run out of ammo because they didn't think to reload while they're at the base. Good job, guys.
Rhinox didn't even reload his cannon things from the last time he used them.
I think he hasn't reloaded them since the low road. Then they get blasted into pieces, basically. The end.
The end.
And so the Predacons are around them, poised to destroy them.
Megatron wants to savor the moment instead of dealing the coup de grace. The fat lady is humming a few bars right now.
I'm ready. But
all of a sudden, this purple thing comes from the sky, hits the Rhinox hippie chamber thing, goes into the back corridor, and all of a sudden, this thing emerges. It's in slow motion, it's enshrouded in mystery, and
right as the Predacons are about to pull the triggers, kaboom! Exiting the Exelon from the hall is none other than Optimus Primal.
Saying the iconic line,
Autobots, transform and roll out!
No, that's not it.
It's...
This is not good.
No,
that's not it either. Oh, it's...
Engage.
What is the line?
It's gotta be...
Whoa.
No, it doesn't
No,
feel,
it's
that doesn't
not.
feel
That
right
doesn't feel right either.
We're getting closer.
No, he says...
Oh, I know.
Well, that's just prime.
That's the one. Our boy Optimus Primal is back. And he pulls out his shoulder cannons, takes out Waspinator right away because, that's how it's going to be. They kind of retreat to get some cover, and Optimus is like, hey, time to show off my new toy. And he's got this rocket surfboard that he can use to fly. He dodges Inferno's rockets, which turn and take out Quick Strike and Tarantulas, which I gotta say, kind of lame. And then there's a bit of a Mexican standoff between Optimus and Inferno.
Who knows? Maybe they're in prehistoric Mexico.
Could be. Optimus is the quick draw. Inferno's down. Megatron comes up, is like, hello and goodbye. Megatron, can you just, for once, just shoot? Silverbolt swoops in, boots Megatron off a cliff. And he's like, hey, Megatron, I'm not a Predacon anymore. And then Optimus is like, cool, come join the Maximals. So what's going on? And then they give him the lowdown. He's like, well, we'll wait for Tigatron to give us his report. That report ain't coming, bro. Now we're all shiny, and all the Energon has either exploded or has been stabilized. And then Optimus is like, cool. Did he even say thank you to Rhinox? I don't think so. So who's the real villain of this story? Optimus? Well, how about your pleases and your thank yous, the basics, huh? Meanwhile, at the Predacon base, Megatron is like, so what's going on here, Black Arachnia? She's like, well, Dinobot destroyed everything, and I guess your data tracks are gone, and we'll never know what all this was about. And Megatron's like, well, dang, that makes me mad.
And I'm gonna rollerblade.
And then Black Arachnia is like,
And then she's all like,
zzz. Yeah, I don't even see the code. All I see is blonde, brunette, redhead. And I feel like that's like the end of that sort of story arc. Man, what a ride, hey?
Let's start with what I did like. Number one, the Fuzors. I liked them. I didn't like how they were so heavy-handed with...
Yeah.
He's clearly a bad guy, and he's clearly a good guy. But here's the thing, though. Like, I think with Silverbolt, number one, they committed to the fact that he was, like, really a hero at heart. As it shows in later episodes, that heroic, like, Captain America-like theme song, whenever he looks up at the moon or whatever,
yeah.
it's even a little over the top, even for the Maximals, and that works. Quick Strike, less just, like, you know, more murder and mayhem, and just been more like, if you wanted to beat him up, just to prove he's tougher than him, do it. I like that, like, right off the bat, he's like, I bet you I can kick your keister. Like, to me, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's so in character, and it's so interesting that you've got these two people who are, like, so fundamentally different, and this one guy who just wants to kick everyone's ass. That's what's going on in his head. Not like, who am I? He's a born tough guy, and that's interesting to me.
And it would have been more interesting if it was focused on him being a tough guy instead of like being kind of villainous.
Yeah.
For the sake of consistency with the series, when Quick Strike first comes out of the stasis pod, he is a Maximal. It shouldn't be in his nature for him to be like villainous. But I think it would have been interesting to see a little bit more of Megatron trying to manipulate Quick Strike and Silverbolt into becoming more Predacon-like. And it would have been interesting for Quick Strike to buy into it and Silverbolt to not.
If anything, like, Megatron offers Quick Strike the one thing he wants, and that's a chance to prove his toughness, then you would see his, like, willingness to accept the Predacon way.
I think, yeah, they're good characters. Quick Strike is more quirky and actually, like, legitimately funny than, say, Scorponok was.
Oh, yeah.
He's the guy in a Western who drinks too much
Yeah.
and just gets himself into trouble.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's not actually that tough, but he really wants to be.
And it helps that he's also short.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, he's got that little guy syndrome.
I really liked the whole Western thing. They really committed to it.
It particularly pays off in that sunrise shot right before the
Yeah.
Predacons basically claim their victory. And the sun is glaring like right behind them, and the image of the Predacons walking from the sunrise with like their eyes glowing and they're like backlit. It's so cool looking. Not tons happens in this story, but the pacing of it and the little reveals as they go along, it feels big regardless. And it's also planting seeds for the future of the series, like with Dinobot taking the golden discs and hiding them, Tarantulas like coming back to life, and a little bit of payoff, and then there's a little bit of like breadcrumbs being laid out as well. Yeah, you get a really good sense of the stakes in this episode. And you know what? You feel it through Rat Trap. Like,
Yeah.
like he gets so exasperated about it.
And he's trying to hold it together, and he's making great leadership choices that I think even Optimus would have been proud of. There's another thing. Optimus, his return was absolutely phenomenal. I didn't feel cheated as an audience member, and I didn't feel like they lowered the stakes of the situation. Even today, watching it again as a grown-ass man, I cheered. I was like, yeah, he's back, because I had an emotional connection. I felt elated. I was like, oh my god, they're going to make it.
Because it felt earned. They had gone so long without him. There was like a legitimate struggle to get him back. It didn't feel cheap. It didn't feel like, oh, well, we just want to bring him back because the fans want him to. It was part of the story to bring him back. Although, yeah, okay, I have to give some criticism. I actually don't like this Optimus Primal, the Transmit Optimus Primal, his face. I think it looks stupid.
Me too. I'm glad I'm not alone there.
Yeah, I just don't like it. Also, I gotta say that when Optimus returns, he's a little OP, you know? Considering how many Predacons were there, but he still like announced, hey, that's just Prime. The Predacons didn't really put up much of a fight.
Well, they all shot at him, but he brought the shield.
That's true. The shield was there, so that's fair. And also, like, this is like the start of a big arc from Dinobot. Him kind of asking the big questions is like, what is my purpose? Now I have the power here, and I don't know what to do with it.
Through that like Shakespearean type monologue, he highlights the fact that he couldn't possibly live with himself if his destiny was preordained. And that speaks volumes about the kind of character he is.
He doesn't like the ideas of him being a warrior and his actions having no consequence.
Because I don't like the idea that I'm not in control of my life.
I know exactly what you mean.
He wants to be a master of his own destiny. There's a glaring continuity problem that drives me absolutely up the wall. Waspinator and Tarantula show up at the very end of Coming of the Fuzors Part 1 to be part of that huge, very dramatic like standoff, kind of like ding 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 ding, to be continued. A few minutes later, Waspinator and Tarantula show up, and then Megatron's like, reinforcements are here, let's take them out. I'm like, wait, they already showed up. Like, what? How did that get past people? I don't understand. Like just a bad mistake, and it drives me crazy.
Okay, so the whole them running out of ammunition thing. They come out of the base, and they're like, bang, bang, oh crap. Rhinox is like, the Predacons have been shooting with reckless abandon the entire episode. They have not been back to the base. Totally fine. These guys were just inside the frickin' base, and they didn't think to reload.
It always comes across as kind of stupid and contrived when everyone runs out of ammo at the exact same time.
They could have gone a long way of solving that issue by just having them get blasted.
Yeah, lose the guns a different way. Don't just like oh, click, 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 uh-oh. It just seems silly.
Yeah.
Not to use such harsh language. I'm sorry about that, Predacon Paul. But it does seem a little silly.
What else didn't work for you, sir?
Tigatron and Airazor, like, what are they thinking? They
And
need...
Rat Trap let them go.
Rat Trap and Rhinox. Rhinox even encouraged it. He's like, follow your dreams. I understand that you need to get the protoforms that have crashed, but they just essentially kind of just walked off the show. It's not the time. You gotta get the Axelon back up and running. There's too high of a percentage of your forces to just walk off. And it just feels like the writers didn't know what else to do with these characters at this point in time.
The most sound strategy would have been to consolidate your forces, reinforce your defenses, prepare for the coming battle. As soon as the Axelon's back in shape, then go off and worry about the other protoforms. If you don't have a base to bring them back to, if you don't have a team to bring them back to, it's not going to help anyone. It's not going to help the protoforms either.
Cheetor said in that dialogue that they knew that 2 protoforms had landed in the other Predacon base, which means there's 2 more Predacons. The Maximals had the advantage. The moment Tigatron and Airazor walked off, they no longer had the advantage. Season 2 does not handle Tigatron and Airazor well.
No, it doesn't.
Nothing else stands out as particularly bad to me. I think all in all it's pretty exciting, it's pretty solid. You know how there's some movies where there's story and then there's an action scene, then there's story and then there's an action scene. But the really good movies, or in this case the really good episode, is the action scene is part of the story. Everything that's happening, the whole battle, just drives the story forward. So we're going to give Coming of the Fuzors, Part 1 and Part 2, 4 out of 5 Waspinator cubes. Don't mind Waspinator, he's just going to drag himself to this CR tank all by himself. Overall, the story works. There's a few glaring issues, but the story is important in the big overall arc of Beast Wars. What did you think of Coming of the Fuzors Part 1 and Part 2? Please let us know in the comment section down below. Give us a thumbs up if you like us. Please subscribe if you gotta have more Beast Wars Wednesday.
Tell your mom.
Does your mother know? Wow, 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 wow. He's a crafty little dino.
And he's all like, I'm right here, come on, kill me! Kill me now, do it! Do it!
Just like that.